CCTV লাস্ট 15 বছরের ওপরে কেবল বিজনেসে তো ছিলামই। সময়ের সাথে সাথে মানুষের যে রিকোয়ারমেন্ট বা টেকনোলজির যে অ্যাডভান্সমেন্ট সেই হিসেবে উই অলসো গট ইনটু ব্রডব্যান্ড বিজনেস। বাট আমাদের যে স্ট্রং ভ্যালিউ সিস্টেম, আমাদের যে টোটাল স্টেক হোল্ডার্স যারা আছে, সেটা আমাদের নেটওয়ার্ক বিজনেস পার্টনার্স হোক বা আমাদের কাস্টমার্স হোক, তাদের যে ট্রাস্টটা এত বছর আমাদের সাথে রয়েছে, খুব ছোট স্প্যানের মধ্যেই আমরা একটা ট্রিমেন্ডাস অ্যামাউন্ট অফ সাকসেস পেয়েছি। আগামী দিনে আমরা এই সার্ভিসেসগুলো আরও ইমপ্রুভ করব, লেটেস্ট টেকনোলজিতে যা যা রিকোয়ারমেন্ট থাকে সেগুলোও দেব। আর আমাদের যে এই রিচ আছে টু মোর দ্যান 95% অফ দ্য পিনকোডস অ্যাক্রস দ্য স্টেট অফ ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল, সেটাকে আমরা আরও লেভারেজ করব। সো we have been giving the best of services through our network channel partners, and we will continue to do so in broadband business as well. And in a very short span of time, we look at ourselves as the ones who will be one of the leading broadband players in whole of West Bengal. I'm Associate Vice President with Gtpl Kcbpl.
This is Mr. Ankit Agarwal, and this is Mr. Mithun Chatterjee. Okay, this is the Gtpl Kcbpl. Please see this carefully. There's no hyphen, there's no underscore, it is all one. Alright, Gtpl Kcbpl. It is their press conference, and Dipanjan will now just introduce everything.
So basically this press conference today is for our broadband services. We are already a player in the broadband segment, but going forward we are going to rebrand our broadband strategy and our services, and the way we go about it, the press conference is basically today regarding the same. And for that we have our eminent panelists from our company who will take you through the strategies that we have planned going forward. Thank you. Over to you.
The idea for us as Gtpl Kcbpl for the past 15 odd years, we've been in the cable space through our cable operators. So all of you must have at some point used our cable TV services, and eventually as times have changed, as some of you may be now only using a broadband service or looking to change the way you get entertained, the relevance of a cable operator has changed. But don't you miss the interaction you had with him? The kind of relationship you had, so you didn't have to call a call center. You could call him by his darknam, call him whenever you wanted, at night, in the morning. And we realized that this entire relation was changing. So we are now coming up with all sorts of services that will define your new entertainment needs, your use for internet, your usage for calling, a combined service wherein the cable operator will become the digital superman. He will not only remain a cable operator who you call when your cable TV is not working, but if you require a system, a software, your son requires an editing software, or you require, a tally, you would be able to call the cable operator. He will provide you with all sorts of services. He will be the one giving you internet, he will be the one giving you CCTV facility, he will give you OTT bouquets, everything that you need, which you earlier could get from a cable TV operator, would again be redefined. And that's what we as Gtpl want to re-emphasize, that the relationship is very important. The way you are now probably using a multinational service, there is no connect. You don't even know who is the owner of that service, or you can't reach out to the owner. So we are trying to create a hybrid where the ownership and the relationship with the cable operator stays, and you still get the best of services that you're currently taking from various different service providers. I will ask Mithun to further elaborate on this.
আমার নাম বলেন যে বাংলায় কথা বলতে, যদিও প্রবাসী বাঙালি চেষ্টা করব। ওকে, আমরা ব্রডব্যান্ড সার্ভিসেস শুরু করে খুব বেশি দিন যদিও হয়নি, বাট আমাদের ব্র্যান্ডের স্ট্রেংথ, কাস্টমারের ট্রাস্ট, আর আমাদের ভ্যালু চেনে যারা স্টেক হোল্ডার্স আছে তাদের ট্রাস্টের জন্য একটা খুব শর্ট স্প্যান অফ টাইমে আমরা ট্রিমেন্ডাস সাকসেস পেয়েছি অ্যাজ ফার অ্যাজ ব্রডব্যান্ড অ্যাজ আ বিজনেস ইজ কনসার্ন। উই থট দ্যাট আমরা heavily marketing by heavily into advertising, we were not there, but we were very silently working with our strong points, which is the huge business partners network that we have in Kolkata and the rest of Bengal. তাছাড়া আমাদের সার্ভিসেস অলমোস্ট ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলের 90% পিনকোডসে অ্যাভেলেবল আছে। এই প্রত্যেকটা জায়গায় যখন আমাদের এক্সটেনশন মানে আমাদের বিজনেস পার্টনার্স অলরেডি অ্যাভেলেবল আছে, so we thought of leveraging that and starting off with the broadband business sometime back. But the strengths which I mentioned, it is because of that we got a humongous success. We thought, why not announce it now? Along with that, there are future plans like what he just now elaborated, Ankit just now elaborated. Way forward, the business or the needs of the people are going to change dramatically. What happens is, between the need of the people and the ones who are wanting to fulfill that need, there is always a gap. For most of the operators, which is a challenge. But for us, that is the biggest strength. Because in between, we have our network partners who are called the cable or broadband operators. So leveraging them, we have been providing all our services. Leveraging them, we will be providing the services way forward as well. If you wish to add Anuj, anything on this?
Yeah, hi, welcome. Gtpl Kcbpl. Our strength is our service, not only ours but also our partner cable operators. And be it pandemic period or even during the calamities like Amphan, we have been able to provide and maintain our highest standards of services. And in fact, we have our own laid-down parameters, which is even more stringent than what is mandated for by the regulatory authorities. So I think this is what, with that in with our background, what we have achieved in cable TV, now we are planning to we hope to achieve that in broadband.
So don't you think that this space is actually overcrowded? So many people coming and claiming that I provide high speed, I provide this, I provide that. There are so many operators. Few of the names which people will probably remember are the ones which are bigger brands for some other businesses. Maybe I am not naming them, but you know I'm talking about the telcos. They never have been broadband players. But you've been able to associate the newer offerings from them because of the brand image that they have been able to create over a period of time. Our distinctive advantage is the fact that, similar to them, we have been here in this market for more than 15 years now, with an established credibility and trust from the business partners as well as customers. So, basis that, we think that the success, the response which you've got, because we always believe that we are like a company from West Bengal, kind of vocal for local, and typically that Bengali psyche is something which is ingrained in us. And that is something which has helped us to create that relationship in the market. Now coming up with this product, with this brand which has already established itself, which has already proven its worth in terms of services, in terms of a very well-oiled ground service network, with a sales team which is highly experienced from this industry, from our industry. All this coupled together, we are very confident that way forward, the kind of revolutionary changes which we are bringing in, we will ensure that whenever it comes to broadband, we will be one of the most relevant names that people will reckon with.
Adding on to that, like, when we talk about a local business like us, we always talk about the partners that we work with. So difference between us and a telco is that there's 6,000 odd business owners who are distributing our service. And when an owner is further, attached to a business, that owner really cares about each of their customers. When you talk to your cable operator, he's a business owner, and he knows all 100, 200, 500 families he's catering to. Whereas you will never be able to reach out to a telco business owner. That's a different ballgame altogether. So if you really want to keep it relevant, wherein your problems are being heard, where your daughters or your family members' problems are personalized, that's when the cable operator becomes a lot more relevant. And we realize that in Amphan. In Amphan, people were unable to reach out to call centers because nothing was working, right? You had to get hold of someone physically. And the cable operators were always 2 lanes away. People who had to work from home, people whose children had to be, whose classes were going on online, they had to reach out to the cable operator, and the cable operator responded. Because where would he go? He's your neighbor. He's also a friend, maybe. So you have to keep them alive in the system. Today, when we choose a telco over a cable operator, we forget that this guy is from the community. And this guy is as much part of the pada or the locality you stay in as you are. And he will always be there to provide you the service. It is much like the grocery store that you have in the surroundings. So today, we want to appeal to the people around that keep them relevant. Give them some business so they are around for you to always toggle. For you to always, whenever you have an issue, you're unable to reach out to the call center. Maybe you do. Maybe the elderly in the family wait for the children to come back and then call to the call center. But that person earlier could directly call the cable operator and speak to them in their colloquial language. Chole asho, amar ekta kharab hoyeche, thik kore dao. If we all move to the more sophisticated and the complex services, you will not have this touch, and they will all try and churn you for money. A cable operator, it may sound weird, would charge differently back in the day. It cannot, because it would realize that what your requirements were. They would be your personal. You can say they would customize your service even back in the day, telling you that okay, you're just an elderly at home, you don't need these channels, or I know you will not be able to afford a higher pack payers, whatever you can. So that needs to still stay in the system for for the future generations as well. That's an appeal.
Landscape that we talk about when we look at a metro, it is not actually the reflection of the general population in any of the states if you have to talk about India in general. The landscape, though it is changing in the urban part, but when we talk about the semi-rural and rural parts, which is touted to be the fastest growing markets for any of the products that is available today. In most of the research papers, you would probably be seeing that they are touting these markets as the ones which would promise the fastest growth. These are the places where actually the services lack, no matter who the service provider is. And that is where our strength is. These are the people, maybe probably from the last 25 years or so, or even more. They started with the early days of cable, and when we look at it today, these are the same set of people who have actually graduated themselves from the earlier days to the most modern technology that would be offered to their markets, which they are catering to today. So it's not that they have been where they were. They have transitioned themselves with the day as things passed on, as time passed by, and they have made themselves available to the latest technology, understanding of the technology or the product offering to the consumers. So those are the markets where we are really strong at, and those are the markets where we would really look at catering to, because that is where the real need is. So on a larger scope of things, if I have to talk about, it's not just about the metro markets. We are deeply focusing upon the non-metro or the tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4 markets of this particular state, where tomorrow's generation would be growing up from. They would be looking at a good internet option. They would be looking at an uninterrupted service which is affordable, and also someone who promises everything else that needs to come along with a product like broadband. So we are not discriminating actually that our focus remains in this certain pocket or that certain pocket. We are not discriminating. We are equally focusing in every single town, village of the state with the best possible technology that can be offered to the consumers out there, so that even they can experience the best that a broadband service provider can offer. So that's the bigger idea behind the
And at a
discussion.
reasonable rate, because the local cable operator can empathize. They understand that okay, this is the area I'm staying in. If these consumers can pay a certain amount only, then it makes sense for me to sell a service. So every single time a local cable operator gets added onto the pie, it adds personalization of price, of services, and they're empathizing, right? That they see that you need this service, okay, I have to get it somewhere, I can sell it to you. As long as they are there, you would always, requirements of tier 3, tier 4 or tier 1 would be adhered to, because the person is right there around you and he can empathize and understand, okay, if this service was there, probably I could sell it to them. Going forward.